Whispers, Ilse. Hi, sweeties. It is a very rainy day today. And I thought it was a beautiful day to film a video. And I was really thinking about what I should film for you today, because I have a lot of things that I could be filming, but there is one thing I actually needed to do that I thought I could do together with you. And for everybody that's not familiar with ASMR, normally I like to make whisper videos, but because I know that some people might watch this video to see how this is actually done, I figured I could do it with a more relaxing, soft-spoken voice. So let me tell you and show you what we're going to do today. I have some succulent plants. I love succulent plants, and some of them are a little bit sad right now. They need a little bit of attention. So this is one of them. It has, it's not growing in a shape that I quite want it to be. But most importantly, it has 2 babies, 3 actually, that I want to take off. Here in the front, you can see 2 of them in the corner. Let's see if I can show you that. There is one, and then in the corner over there is another one. So I'm going to take out the succulent plant, and I'm going to try and remove the babies so that I can repot those. I have another succulent plant that keeps wobbling. It keeps falling back and forth, which really isn't good. It was a succulent plant that one of my friends left here, and I really just need to repot that. Put it, add some extra soil to it, and it also has a baby. It's a different succulent plant. It's this one. Gotta be very careful with holding it. It's pretty tall, and it's just in a glass jar. Can't really show you because it's gonna fall over, but it also has a baby. I don't think you can see that. I'll show you in a bit. Let me just put this against the wall because look, it's like wobbling all over the place. And I have it in my windowsill in my workspace, and it keeps falling over and then leaves break off. It's just not ideal. So I was staying with some friends for a while. We were staying with some friends for a while because of everything that's going on in the world right now. And a friend of mine took care of my fish and my plants, and unfortunately one of my succulent plants died. However, it looks like he put it back into the soil, and that means that there is another succulent growing out of the stem right now, and there is another little plant that's growing out of it on the top as well. As you can see, there's 2 there, and there's a little baby that is growing out that I'm going to cut off, and I'm going to give it its own little pot. So yeah, I am going to show you what I'm doing. So let me just move the camera, and I'll be back with you in a sec. Okay, so I got a few things here. I got a little blue lid that I'm going to need to put the soil on. I got some tools here that I bought the other day that can be used for gardening, but they can also be used for working with aquariums. If you do some, aquascaping, is massive tweezers that you can use for underwater, but also to plant new sprouts. I have these really big scissors, and another pair of tweezers that are just straight. These ones are curved on the bottom if you need to reach certain angles. So I got these garden tools. This one I've been using for my aquarium to flatten my sand evenly, but you can also use it for soil. I got a spoon right now just to scoop out the soil. Since I don't have like a little garden shed where I can do this, I'm just doing this in the room. So I just want to keep things neat and clean. I got this pot right now where I'm going to put this plant in. It's a little bit bigger and higher, so if I fill it up with soil entirely, that plant will finally will be stabilized. Yeah, I got my soil here. I just got some regular soil that has it's not called humus, it's like humus, perlite. Let me check. Peat moss and sand in it. It is definitely better to use soil that is particularly, like, especially for succulents, but I have not been able to find that because it's sold out everywhere in my area. And I checked the prices online, and I really did not like the prices online. So my succulents have been doing perfectly fine with the soil that I currently have. So yeah, let me just see if I can show you the ingredient list, what is in here. Let's see. There it is. That's what's in it. Okay, so let me just open the bag of soil, because I closed it off with a piece of tape so that it doesn't dry out. There we go. Okay, so it's time for the plant surgery. I'm going to take the plant out of the pot now. Succulent plant. This beautiful, beautiful succulent plant. I love how dark the leaves are. It actually needs a little bit of water, but I didn't water it on purpose so that the soil wouldn't be too muddy while taking it out of the pot. So let me just remove these little things that were supposed to keep the plant up straight that broke off. So yeah, this is a plant that I got from a friend of mine, and he didn't want to have it back, so I ended up having this plant. So I'm just going to take it out very carefully. And yeah, so I'm just going to reuse this. I'm going to put what's in here, on the bottom of the pot. I'll just have to hold this succulent plant because I cannot really lay it down because the leaves might break off, and obviously we don't want that, so I'm just going to use the back of this one. this has some river rocks in it. The soil that's in the pot that the plant came out of has some little river rocks in it, which is good. So I'm just going to pour this into our new pot. That is quite loud, isn't it? Let me try to see if I can put the plant down very, very carefully. Okay, there we go. That works. Let me just see if I can scoop it out with the spoon. So what I normally do with my succulent plants is I put some river rocks on the bottom. And the reason why I do that is so that the water can drain, because a root, you can get a problem that's called root rot with your succulent plants, which is not something that's unique to succulent plants, but that's definitely something you do not want. So you want the water to be able to escape. And that's the reason why you use river rocks on the bottom, like just little pebbles. I always love the earthy smell of gardening. Okay, so I took out all the soil. Empty enough. I really like the jar too. And so there is a little baby succulent on the side right here. So I'm going to detach that now from the succulent plant, because it's going to get its own pot later today. So you have to be very careful because the leaves snap off really easily. So I'm just loosening up the soil around it a little bit without snapping the leaves, or the roots, I mean. There we go. So we got one perfect little baby succulent, which is going to turn into this big one. So I'm just going to put that on the side for now. And I'm going to put this in the pot to see how much soil we will need. I think it might actually be good to just dig a little bit of a hole in it. Okay, there we go. It's already standing by itself, which means that it is already more stable, which is great. So I'm just going to fill this up with more soil on the top. Okay, there we go. Let me just put baby to die. Okay. So what you want to do preferably is to put some gravel on top of the soil as well, which I do not have at the moment, but I'm going to go to the store soon and I'm going to get some gravel. Unfortunately, I won't be able to include that in this video, but that is what I will be doing. So the reason why putting gravel around it is important is because you have to make sure that the leaves don't get wet. And with this succulent plant in particular, that's not very important because it doesn't really have any leaves close to the bottom of the stem. But the other two succulent plants that I have do. So I'm just tapping it down a little bit to give it some, to make it stand up straight. There we go. This is a lot more stable now, so I won't have to worry about the plant sitting in my windowsill, and every time when I open the curtain, the plant has a risk of falling. Just a little bit more soil. There we go, and I'm just going to pat it down a little bit again with the spoon. And there we have it. Beautiful succulent plant that is now ready. I will actually put a stick in this, like on the side to kind of support it, but I will have to buy that as well when I go to the store. So I only recently decided to do some indoor gardening again, and that's the reason why I don't have everything right now, but I will soon. It's just a matter of time before I have everything. So I'm just going to give this a little bit of water, not too much, because you don't want to cause that root rot. There we go, that will do. So that's our first beautiful succulent plant, and I will show you a little bit later how it looks like in the windowsill. I don't know if I have time to show you everything, because if you're doing everything in a more slow and relaxing way, that also means it takes more time, which is, which I'm fine with, but I just want to make sure that this video is a good length for people to still watch and fall asleep to. And I might have to do a part 2 about this if that's something you guys would be interested in. Anyways, I got these little pots right here, I have a little hole in the bottom. And I'm going to use one of these to plant our tiny little baby succulent plant in. So let me just put that right there. I have a little dish, a little saucer for it already that I will be using. So I'm just going to take a tiny little river rock, and I'm going to put this river rock on the bottom. There we go. So I'm just going to fill it up with soil now. And this is one of those plants where gravel on the top is very important, because the leaves are going to be very, very close to the dirt, and you don't want the leaves to get wet. When my friend was taking care of my plants when I was here, he stayed here unexpectedly, so I wasn't really able to give him a rundown of things. But what happens when when the leaves become wet, you get this. You can see that with this plant. You see right here? That's because the leaves became wet, and that's the reason why that happens. So that's the reason why it's important to put gravel on the top, which, like I said, I will. Just have to go to the store tomorrow to buy it. So I'm just gonna put a little bit more soil in here. I think just a tad more. There we go. Because when I press it down, there we go. Okay, just a little bit more. There. So I am going to use the tip of my tweezer. Just going to create a little hole. And I'm just going to put our little succulent plants with roots and all into the pot. Okay, there we go, little one. There. So I'm going to use the spoon, and I'm going to pat it down a little bit around the plant. And there we have it. One baby succulent. Honestly, I think it's so cute. once I get the gravel, I will add that to the top layer. And the soil is still a little bit moist right now, so I don't have to water it right away. Succulent plants don't need a whole lot of water to begin with, so I'm just going to leave it as is right now because I don't want to water the water to get on the leaves. And then as soon as I went to the store, I'm going to add some gravel on the top layer together with the other succulent plant as well. So I don't think I have time right now to do this one. I might see if I can still film this for another video, because this one really does need to be taken care of because these babies are getting squashed, because when I got the plant, it was significantly smaller. So yeah, I am going to probably put that in another video. But what I did wanted to show you is just how to remove this little pup, succulent pup they call them, because this one is growing from the main stem. So what I'm going to do is very simple. I'm going to take some, in my case, clean gardening scissors. It's very important that they're clean. And you're going to cut it underneath about 1 inch, 1 to 1.5 inch. And then you just cut it. That's it. And then you can cut off the remaining parts of the stem. So there we have our little baby succulent. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this dry for a little bit, to let the part where I just snipped it off so that it can scab over, and then I'm going to plant it. So this will take a day or something. Depends on how big the stem is and how fast it will scab over, but I suspect that by tomorrow I can plant this. So same thing as the other one, even though this one doesn't have roots yet. I'm just going to plant it in the pot, put some gravel on top of it, and then we got ourselves a new succulent plant. So I would like to thank you so much for watching. I am very sorry that this video is a little bit messy. I don't have a shed or a workbench or anything like that where I can work on to get like the perfect setup. However, I do like the more improvised kind of ASMR videos myself, so I hope that in this case you do too. If you would like to see a part 2 of gardening with succulent plants, let me know. I am also starting an indoor vegetable garden, or like in pots rather, which I would like to make videos about in the future. But if that's it all depends on you guys. If it is something that you're interested in, I'm very passionate about it, so I'll definitely be able to talk about it forever. Yeah, it all depends on you. If you would like to see more gardening videos, please let me know. I know that one at least was requested, which I did now. And yeah, other than that, I would like to invite you to subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this video. Turn on the notification bell so that you can get notifications when I uploaded something new. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to like it or leave a comment or both. And I would like to send you a lot of love. I want to make art. I would like to send you a lot of love and a lot of positivity. And I will see you again with a new video next week. Bye, sweeties.